Stephen Cureno, KLY Sports, are here with the legendary, the one and only, the Bob Father, Bob Arum. Here we are, promoting another great fight. Middleweight champion in Janabek, who's, I feel like, kind of scaring people to he's doing the best he can at his job, but it's almost maybe detrimental to your job because it's hard to get people in the ring with him.
I know, listen, I've had that experience before when I started seriously promoting Marvelous Marvin Hagler, the late Marvelous Marvin Hagler. People were afraid to fight him as well. But money talks, and the opponents will come, and I really believe that Janabek is something really special.
He definitely looks very special, left-handed power puncher. That's kind of maybe another thing that's, like you said, similar to Marvin, left-handed. Obviously, there's no victories guaranteed, but I know he said that he doesn't want to face Triple G because they're countrymen, and obviously Triple G has 2 of the 4 belts at middleweight. He says he wants champions, and the only other guy left is Jermall Charlo. Do you realistically think we can get that unification fight in this next coming year?
I think he would fight if the money is right. Why wouldn't he fight Triple G? Countrymen or not countrymen, Americans fight Americans all the time. Why wouldn't 2 Kazakhs fight each other? All right, and if the Charlo fight becomes available, if Al wants to do that fight, why not? I'd love to do it.
Well, we'd love to see it for sure. You also got future superstar here, Seniesa Estrada, making her top-ranked debut. What was it that you saw in Seniesa that you were like, we need to get her in the stable?
Well, we watched a few of her show fights when she was signed with Oscar's company, Golden Boy, and we thought that, hey, marvelous. She makes a great presentation. She's charming, and she can fight like hell, and she's very exciting. So when the opportunity came, when her contract ran out, we went after her because we were aware of how good she was and what an asset she could be. And that coincided with the rise of women's boxing all over the world. I mean, what happened in London a little while ago was epic, selling out a big arena like the O2, having an all-women boxing card. So I think more and more we will integrate women into the sport.
I know you're a proponent of women fighting 3-minute rounds. I know Seniesa's a big fan of it too. Do you think that'll be maybe a part of moving her career as well, is to try to get 3-minute rounds for her in title fights?
Yeah, the thing that's crazy about it is that the commissions will allow 3-minute rounds. That's not the problem. It's the organizations, because they slap together the sport quickly, have 2-minute round. So we'd have to go to the sanctioning bodies and lobby them for 3-minute rounds. But I think most of the women that I talk to would rather have 3-minute rounds, because by the time they set up their opponent, now 2 minutes the round is over. And the most exciting action with men's boxing tends to be in the 3rd minute of a round.
I 100% agree with you, man. Hopefully with the Bob Father behind it, we can get some traction on that one. Want to get to the heavyweights. Tyson's fighting Trisora for a 3rd time this year. I know obviously the fight that kind of everybody wanted is the undisputed fight, with Usyk and Tyson. Was there like a lot of roadblocks to not getting that before the end of the year that you see maybe might be an issue for next year, or is it just maybe a matter of timing and it's looking pretty good for next year for undisputed?
Yeah, there was one big roadblock, which I can understand. Usyk told us. Usyk, by the way, is a wonderful person, really wonderful, very intelligent, very funny, and I consider him a friend. And he told us that he didn't want to fight this year that he would fight early next year. So to accommodate him, we told Tyson Fury that, hey, Usyk is not ready to fight you until next year. He said, well, I want to get a fight in this year because I got to keep busy, because that's good for my mental state. And so we booked this Chisora fight for him on December 3rd, and we hope to do the Fury-Usyk fight maybe the last 2 weeks or the first couple of weeks in March. Last 2 weeks in February, first 2 weeks in March, because I think the fourth week in March starts Ramadan, and then it shuts down the Mideast, where we'd probably do the fight for at least a month.
Yeah, well, that's good news. I mean, it sounds like that they're on board. I know a lot of fights recently haven't come to fruition because the guys aren't on board.
Not these guys. They want to fight each other.
A fight the WBC mandated just, I want to say the other day, Shakur Steven versus Cruz for a mandatory position for Devin Haney's WBC title. Obviously, it's a great fight on paper. Fans are, excited to see that, WBC wants something like that. But I don't know, how realistic is a fight between Shakur and Cruz?
Well, our matchmakers reached out to Sean Gibbons, that handles Cruz, and we proposed that fight. But I don't think Cruz is going to take it. He'd rather have Shakur fight somebody else for like the WBO position, and then he could fight for another organization. I don't know. I'm not optimistic about that fight happening.
Another fight they mandated, not really. Who knows if that one happens as well. But I mean, Spence Thurman. Obviously, we didn't get Spence Crawford like all boxing fans wanted. Is Spence Thurman a decent kind of consolation, I guess, for us fans? And what do you think happens in that one?
Well, Thurman's been a very good fighter. Spence, of course, has been elite in the welterweight division. And I think it's a good fight, interesting fight. I think really there's one winner, and that's Spence, but Thurman will give him a battle.
What were your thoughts on the whole kind of breakdown of Spence Crawford, and Crawford ended up now he's fighting Avanesian. Obviously you had Crawford for a while. Were you surprised by that happening, or what were your thoughts on the whole thing?
Look, once Crawford's contract with us ran out, Crawford was on his own, and whatever Crawford did was his business. And whatever happened in negotiation with Crawford and Spence are their business, and I don't like to stick my nose into somebody's business. I got enough business of my own.
Right, it's a lot of good business going on too here at Top Rank. Last fight, I just want to get your take on. I know you're a fan of boxing, so you'd probably be excited about David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant. Probably for the second best fighter at 168 pounds. What do you think about that matchup?
I think it's a terrific fight. I'm anxious to see it. I really think